Hey guys, I am here to talk about week 10 in our Charlotte Mason experiment. And we've had another crazy week. I will try to let you guys know what's going on as well as how we are troubleshooting it, because I don't really want to spend too much time on like how this week has been crazy, because that seems kind of like a downer. But I think what will be more helpful to share is how we're navigating through it. So I have my coffee. I haven't brushed my hair yet, but I'm gonna stick it up in a ponytail and we can get started. We decided to try Charlotte Mason for 12 weeks and see what sticks around here. Okay, so what's going on? I was up most of the night last night. We have a cold in our house right now, and I think I mentioned last time my middle son does not do well with colds. Long story short, his trachea is small. And so when mucus gets sticky inside or too much for him to handle, he has a hard time breathing. We work with the hospital to navigate what tools we can use at home, what's safe to use at home, when to go in, all that kind of stuff. So last night was one of those nights where we needed to monitor him like on the hour or more to make sure that his oxygen saturations were safe to be at home, and that we were using our tools appropriately at home. Before we make the decision to go in, and our bags are packed. We actually had our shoes on at one point, and then he coughed up some mucus. Everything changed. His oxygen saturation started to rise. Anyway, so we are in the throngs of that kind of stuff. We have oxygen tanks out and all the rest. So that is like on the forefront of my brain. In fact, I was like, am I even gonna post a video today? I don't need to post a video, but things are calmer this morning. If you know anything about or have experience with people with oxygen issues, oftentimes it's when you're sleeping and your diaphragm relaxes. That's when you have like the most problems. So now it's daytime. He had a rest. His energy is up again. So I feel okay taking a time for some coffee and chatting, because I like this. This is a little life-giving for me. Anyway, and I'm not fully sick, but I'm struggling a little bit with fighting something. I've got 2 other kids, one with a back injury, husband's farming, trying to get seeding going. We collab farm with our, we share the load with our relatives, and not all of them are healthy. So it's just been like a lot of juggling things, I feel like. So anyways, we're going into these. I wanted to get everything done by the end of this 12 weeks of Charlotte Mason. And I took a look at our schedule. So I think I shared before that we have finished a lot of what we had planned to do, and even some of it was early that we finished. And originally, I think in another one of these weekly vlogs, I said what we're gonna do is we're gonna fill in those spaces with other printables and other things, other resources that I have on hand that I want to use, which is an option. But just judging by how we have had now 2 full weeks that have been very unstable as far as our learning time goes. So what I did is I took what was left on my original term plan and I broke it down into 3 weeks now. This week that we just finished and 2 more weeks. How can we get it all done? So that is my troubleshooting plan going into it. And we actually had an okay week, even though we were sick and even though there were bumps along the way and stuff. So we're going to continue on with our Bible. The only thing I think that we may not get done as in my term plan is maybe all of our memory verses, because I don't want to overload the kids with memory verses. However, some of the books that we were reading, we can do more of that. Okay, so but our Bible stuff, we're gonna read a little bit more so we can get the chapters done that we had planned on doing, and then some of our like history, Age of Enlightenment biographies, home geography, all those things. Some of them are theme specific, and I for sure want to get through those resources, but even the other ones, I thought we can totally follow our term plan. Grammar as well. I think for grammar, I've decided instead of like doing a whole bunch, we're just gonna keep doing grammar twice a week. We're gonna finish off the math books that we've started. I already have one kiddo that's ahead in that. He's in next year's math book. Robinson Crusoe, we are listening to an audiobook. We were doing both audio and hand, like reading along, but we've been doing like chores and spring cleaning and different things around the house. We've just been playing the audiobook. Same with our Plutarch podcast. So I think I have a reasonably condensed plan for the next 3 weeks to finish off our term. And it actually was a lot better than I thought. We even took time for art the other day and that kind of thing. So I think we were just ahead enough, or we finished enough resources at the beginning of our term to make it possible for us to just cram the last 3 weeks. And it's not even really cramming. I don't want to do that. I feel like taking plans and then like cramming them so that we can check the box afterwards is not very Charlotte Mason-esque. So I would like to still enjoy it. But I really think that it looks good. It looks like a great plan. So yeah, we're going to continue on with basically just our resources. I don't know if did I read those? So we still have Age of Enlightenment biographies and information to read, home geography, storybook of science, math and grammar, all of our Bible stuff, our Bible reading, that 18th century science book that I got. There's a few pieces in there that I want to read. We added that one in late, and I'm going to keep it around, but specific pages from that one. Robinson Crusoe we want to finish, and we want to keep going with our Plutarch podcast. So basically, formally, that's what we've got that we need to do. There's so much coughing in the background. And then, of course, on top of that, we want to continue on with our nature study, composer study, and that. But because we've kind of exhausted some of the art stuff, we've exhausted Howard Pyle, we've exhausted Mozart, there's a few things that we've done. It's like, okay, the kids are like, we get it, we've learned it, or whatever. I don't know that they could listen to pieces of classical music and know that it's Mozart yet, so I would still like to play that in the background. I plan on taking reading books outside with us when we're outside. I plan on playing music, whatever we're doing in the car, outside, just being intentional with some of those things. It's amazing how much you can multitask with things that you have to do during your day. Like, we live in the country, so taking that time commuting in the car, we can have something in the car that lets us dive into the things that we're learning about, whether it be music or whether it be an audiobook or like different, even some of the learning videos and stuff that we could learn from. I can just put the video through my phone and just listen to the audio of it. Like, a lot of videos you don't actually need the actual video of it for. So I feel really motivated to be intentional about that, and as well as just being, when we're outside, to bring those biography books and stuff with us. Because even as the kids are playing, I mean, unless they're running around all over the place, but if they're jumping on the trampoline, I can go out and sit there and read to them. Like, it's no problem. And I am really leaning into the audiobook stuff. Audiobooks are great if you are a person who doesn't enjoy reading out loud. I feel like I am starting to like it more and more. But I definitely don't want to read everything out loud on our list, especially in this Charlotte Mason experiment, especially seeing how much stuff is book-based. That's a lot of reading out loud. If you don't have kids that are sharing that reading with you, like my oldest shares a little bit, but my youngest ones comprehend the best when I'm reading. So I still feel like the onus is on me to make sure that we're getting all that stuff done, and that it's being read well. And, you know, I add things, watch their eyes. Are they actually understanding, and that kind of stuff. So I want to make sure that we finish these last 3 weeks well. This last week, even though we were sick, the kids got stuff done. We did art, we did math, we did reading. So that's really good. We're going to do a little bit more of that today, although today, honestly, like, everybody needs to rest, especially my middle son. He just needs to rest today, and any energy he has to put into good coughing and physio. So that's the plan for the weekend, but I'm really hoping that we get to stay home. If he can hack it, if we have to go in the hospital, that's fine. It's not our first rodeo. It's just been a long time. He's had a really great year. So I think sometimes when you're used to going to the hospital, like every couple months, it kind of just becomes your routine, and it's not such a, I shouldn't say it's not such a big deal. It's a huge deal, especially since our little guy, he's had so much ICU care. But I feel like we've been out of the hospital. He's been out of the hospital for over a year. So it just feels like a mountain that he might have to go in again. So we'll see. But we have awesome doctors. We know what's going to happen. It's not scary like someone going to the hospital who doesn't know what's ahead of them. We know that the steps that he needs to take, and they're not fun. But anyways, the point is, I didn't want to dwell on that. The point is that we're happy to be home if we can be. And if we can just get through a restful but productive, like airway productive weekend, hopefully we can have another normal school week next week. So I was actually really proud of ourselves with how much we got done, even despite colds and coughing and runny noses and all the rest, and all the therapy kind of stuff that comes along with the extra things that our household does compared to other households when there's colds. One thing that was a relief this week, in a way, was because of the colds, we had to drop soccer. I was supposed to do worship at church this Sunday. I had to pass that on. And so that was something that would have taken a lot of time and energy. And we were able to just focus on our family with other people taking on those responsibilities for me. So I was really grateful for that. And we're going to have a little bit of rain today, which is also kind of a deep breath. I mean, you don't want rain when you're a farmer and you're seeding, because you want to get your seed in the ground, but in another sense, the rain kind of forces you to take a break. So it was nice to have Daddy home last night when it started to rain. It's misty again today. He's doing a few chores, but I feel like we can all take a little bit of a deep breath there too. And it's nice to have Daddy around when we're trying to make just health decisions and stuff like that too. So anyways, that is an oddball week to share about with you guys. And that's about all I have to share. I just kind of wanted to share how I kind of had to reorganize things. And I feel like this is maybe a great practice for the end of any term. When you're coming to the end, when you finish resources, when you're deciding, how well have we done as far as keeping to the plan? And if there's been bumps along the way, it's the end where you have to kind of evaluate, how can we make this still happen? How can we finish and accomplish our goals? Do we need to extend the time period? Because if I had more to do on my list, then I would want to extend the time period, because I don't want to jam pack stuff and then you lose that love of learning feast vibe, that comes. So I think there's some things to weigh out there. It just so happened that I think we had little enough left on what we needed to do for our term that I was like, that's okay. We can pack this into the last 3 weeks and it's still going to feel great. And it should be just fun to do, not too much, hopefully. Basically a repeated thing too. So if we have basically 4 sort of history, geography, science sort of subjects, we'll be reading those more than once a week. So my original term, it was like once a week, and now we can do it multiple times a week so we can get the last chapters in and stuff like that. So hopefully that was not too discombobulated. Like I said, I haven't really slept, so I don't know if I'm making much sense, but I think it's cool to share when people are in the trenches, in the rawness a little bit. And so yeah, I wanted to make sure that I didn't skip this week and shared kind of that with you guys, because maybe someone else is in that boat too. So hope you guys have a great week, and we will talk to you next. P.S. We are going to be incubating eggs this week. I'll let you know how it goes.